Good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings from Maine, from all of our members up there, and also greetings from the International Spiritualist Federation. Today, I want to talk about what a special weekend this weekend actually is. Does anyone recall what we're celebrating this weekend? It's Founders Day. Okay, Andrew Jackson Davis, one of our pioneers, who really brought to us about the importance of education. And that's what I would like to talk about today. Because education about natural law and spiritualism has changed my life in the last... I joined NSAC in 1993. Okay? And it's kind of interesting because in Florida down here in your church, I have two of the key people that were around or introduced me to spiritualism. One is Reverend Jean Kerr-Lurch, who was the first NSAC board member I met when they held a springboard meeting in Portland, Maine. And she greeted me and brought me into the board because I had some questions about the religion of spiritualism, and as I was embarking on this path. And the other is the Reverend Ann Otzelberger, who was my grader and mentor. So I have a very special connection here with this church, and although I haven't been down here, but thank you for inviting me down and on this Founders Day. So, Andrew Jackson Davis, okay, there was many founders, many people in the religion of spiritualism, from Amy Pose to Emma Harding Britton, Andrew Jackson Davis, Swedenborg. A lot of people put in the foundations of this wonderful religion. Okay, this religion of natural law. Okay. Now, what's interesting to me as I learn these teachings and learn the tools of spiritualism and spirit is that through all of time, nothing in effect changes. We just use different terms for it. So when Andrew Jackson Davis would talk about his dream state and dreaming and floating up the mountain and always feeling like there was another mountain to climb, that's not unlike our general walk in life, correct? We get to a place and we think we're done, but there's always another mountain to climb. There's always another part of our spiritual path that we can continually strive for. Okay, and his guide Galen, we all know that he gave him what's called a magic staff, something from spirit, to help him through the difficult times. And he said, take it, lean on it, use it, walk with it, and under all circumstances keep an even mind. And that's what we are striving to do. Because to me, spiritualism, it's interesting as well that spiritualism has the term ism. And we can have fanaticism, there's even like heroism or, unfortunately, terrorism. It's about an aspect of a way of life. And spiritualism, if you take that ism part, is about learning to be spiritual. It is about bringing out the love and light that you are part of God. God is part of you. You are a spiritual being in a physical body. And Andrew Jackson Davis, when he journeyed one night as well, which now probably we would call astral projection or something like that, but it's the same mechanics. It's the same tools that has been given to us through all of time. And when he went on this journey, he saw children in the spirit side of life. And how happy they were, and what life in the spirit world was about. And yes, it is sad to lose a child. I've not had that experience, so I cannot say how it would be. But what I've taken from the teachings of spiritualism since 1993 is that life is continuous. That life, and that there is no separation in life between this reality and the spirit side of life. And I think we also had some of those experiences yesterday for those who were here at the workshop from a different perspective. Now, Andrew Jackson Davis, when he formed the first Progressive Lyceum, January 25th, I believe it was, 1863. Thank you, Spirit. When he formed that, the important part was about learning, about education, and about passing on the teachings. And to me, one of my primary goals, what has sort of attracted me to spiritualism, is my mother was very much into the metaphysical, so she would teach me all about the metaphysical. My father, it was, it would be like, doing that, it's like, oh, I don't know, son, you shouldn't, I don't know if this is real, what your mum's trying to teach you, okay? So you have this duality in life, okay? And we have a beautiful flower that represents our religion, the sunflower, and a motto that as the sunflower turns its face to the light of the sun, so too does spiritualism turn the face of mankind or humanity to the light of truth. And what is your truth? Because your truth is different than my truth. Your truth is different than the next person. Because we all have different backgrounds, different value systems, and different life experiences. But what I have also learned is that learning the teachings and tools of spiritualism. When I joined the Portland Spiritualist Church in 1993, I had no desire to be a minister. Had no desire to be a medium at the time. But I loved to teach, so I thought, well, maybe an NST might be good. I like to teach. I also have by trade, my father would say, you're not the intelligent one. You won't make anything of your life. Your sister's going to private school and going to go to university. So I ended up with a master's degree in microchip design. And I didn't graduate from high school. Please. So, everything is possible. And that's what Spirit and Spiritualism teach us. They don't expect us to be perfect. Because some people will say we're perfect exactly where we are in that moment. So that's a good frame of mind to have as well. But the important thing is to strive to be of service to yourself, your family and community. So I came to the religion of spiritualism or to credentials kicking and screaming. When I joined the MPI course, I did my first 3 lessons in a week, except for the essays. It took me 4 years to get the first essay out. Even though Anne was saying, come on Graham, you need to get these lessons done. Okay? But it happened. Okay? Now, Andrew Jackson Davis was an incredible individual. But we all are incredible individuals. And he also taught in terms of mediumship, one thing that I always think of is inward, outward, onward, and upward. And I take those things to heart because I realize that in natural law, being no separation between this reality and the spirit side of life, there being no separation about time and space, that if my life is chaotic outside, that's a manifestation of what's happening inside. And it happens inside before it happens and gets reflected outside. So also we say from the Adelphi Temple, know thyself. And the first thing I did in the religion of spiritualism was start to do introspection. Who am I? What is my truth? What are my values? What is important to me? And then Spirit is there to support you. Okay? I now have my Father rides along with me constantly. He's in Spirit side of life. We've actually done more healing since he's passed than before. Because that is the pure beauty and power of the religion of spiritualism. Because the natural law of the universe, and now it's very nice, we have law of attraction books and we have all of these aspects, they're all concepts of spiritualism. Nothing has changed except for the words that we use and how we utilize them. Some people will say that we're actually here in this time now to assist those to, well, see the light. See who they truly are. And who are we truly? We are spirit. We are a light of God. Many people believe spiritualists are not believers in Jesus or believers in God, but we know that that's not true. Because we are also a representation of God. We are also ambassadors of Spirit. So, education to me is key. Okay? Learn the tools. Learn who you are. Learn meditation so that you can go inside and find out who you are. What it is that you would like to change. We have been given to us the knowledge through all those who have come before us. And we are actually now the pioneers for the next generation. How we go forward, so inward and outward, onward and upward. So when you have the trials and tribulations, the upsets, the speed bumps, the road, the obstacles, the walls, know that Spirit and your loved ones will guide you. They'll put the people and the experiences and the resources in your path. It's whether you recognize them and how you utilize them. Okay? So then you can move onward. And then you move upward. I also personally feel that the words that were said to introduce me, I feel sometimes very humble about that. And I know that that's part of my upbringing. Or the recognition that I truly am spirit in a physical body. That Spirit is there, loving me, supporting me, guiding me, and putting me on a path for furtherment of myself and all those around me. I had one time my mother, and it's not in the teachings of spiritualism, I know, but we were walking down the shopping centre in Plymouth, Devon. And I guess we would call them gypsies. There was this lady there asking for money or to pass a flower. And my mother decided that she was going to give, a pound or two to this lady. And I felt very shy about it. And I thought, someone asking for money. And the lady said to my mother, "Thank you, God bless you. By the way, your son will be moving across the waters to buy Canada." Okay? And I'm like, no way am I going to buy Canada. That's too cold for me. Well, Maine is right on the border of Canada, folks. Okay? Then when I was doing my electronics degree, I would work for a company named Sperry Gyroscope, which was an American company in England. And at that time, I was due to graduate and go and work for them. But one day I woke up and said, ooh, I might not have a job to go to. Okay, I get this letter. Sperry gyroscope are pulling out of England, it's being sold, you won't have a job when you graduate. So the university offered me to go and do my master's in microchip design. And then I started that, and 3 months into that, there was an advertisement, come to New England. Didn't say the company or anything like that. I thought, oh, why can't this be in a year's time frame when I've got my master's degree and I've got some experience under my belt? Well, you're all guessing it right. A year later, I'm walking out of GEC Hurst Research Centre in the centre of London, and a voice says to me, look to the left. And I look to the left through an office door, and there's a trash can with a newspaper hanging out, and I'm heading home for the weekend. And I think, oh, Daily Telegraph. That's the day of the job. So that's yesterday's Daily Telegraph. The exact same advertisement that was there a year and a quarter before was in that newspaper. So I applied. They invited me to an interview, and they offered me a job 1 hour later. And I came to Maine about 4 months after that. And the reason I want to share that little piece of information to you is that now, since I've been involved in spiritualism, I now understand how that all happened and why it happened. Spirit was looking after me. Spirit was guiding me and putting the resources in place for me. Regardless of what I thought about myself, my education, or what I could do or couldn't do, Spirit was taking care of me. Just like in 1974 when I nearly died in a car accident, Spirit was taking care of me. And I had dreamt of that car accident 4 months before it happened. So what I want to leave you with is that you are not alone. Learn the teachings of Spirit and spiritualism. If you choose to do that and embrace it from the heart, there is nothing that you cannot accomplish. My dad even gave me the lottery numbers one time, and I forgot to write the last 2 down, thinking I'd remember them by the time I got to the convenience store. Those were the 2 numbers that were missing. I got 4 out of the 6. But, you know, c'est la vie, not to be, right? So who knows? So, truly, today is the Founders' Day. Oh, I mustn't forget Harrison D. Barrett from Maine, Canaan, Maine. The first NSAC president. So I want to thank all of our pioneers, all of our founders on this special weekend, because they have given us the education and the tools and resources to truly better your life. And know that even if you have lost someone and you didn't get to say goodbye, or it wasn't as positive in a time at that time of transition, that you can still heal that and you can still communicate with them. Because that is the beauty of natural law. That is the beauty of spirit and spiritualism. And when you take that to your heart, and when you understand what your light of truth is, and you look at that inward, outward, onward, and upward, nothing can hold you back. Nothing. The question for me is, how long do they choose for me to communicate from this reality or from the other reality? And that is in their hands. But in the meantime, I can be the best I can be. That sounds like one of your commercials on TV. Right? The best you can be. Ironically, That is all that Spirit asks of you. And if you do something that you're not comfortable with, the opportunity to change it through the law of quantum physics always exists. It never goes away. Similarly, if you do not go onward and upward, then it just takes a little longer to learn that lesson. And I've had some of those to think of. But you know, it is one of the most wondrous journeys that you can give yourself. And I am so glad that I was told to finish my lessons, to be able to learn what is in this religion, even though my mother was teaching me aspects of it. And what I've come to realize now is I was a spiritualist all my life. I just didn't have the formal training or knowledge of what to call it. But in here, I've been a spiritualist all my life. So be proud of who you are. Be proud of your wonderful religion. And go inward, outward, onward, and upward, and enjoy your journey. Thank you.